Where's the chat box? Okay, mashallah, we have 15 people here through the session. We are eager to hear. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. At any point of time, if you have a question or clarification, please feel free to raise your hand or to start to ask your question if it is related to the topic. If something is not related, just write it in the chat box and then or write it down in your notes so that we can, in order later on, so we can discuss it and put it on the table and share your knowledge with everyone. Okay, let's go. So our agenda today, we are going to talk about the organization management, and we are going to talk about strategic planning process, elements of the business, strategic human resources, and the role for the HR into the strategic part, as well as we're going to talk and introduce to you the full program as a workshop. It's not just only theoretical part, it's not just only briefing. This session, as I mentioned before, in the poster in the advert, it's just here we are talking about an awareness, sharing knowledge with everyone and sharing your experience as well. Okay. Any questions, anything you'd like to say before we take the first part of our topic today, which is about the organizational management? If you are ready to go, just write in the chat box, let's go. Let's go, Mr. Muhammad. Rachel, thank you. Amen. Thank you. Okay, thumbs up. ماشي. Sure. All right. First part here in our agenda, we are going to talk about the organization management, and we are going to ask the first question on the table. Okay, what is the definition of the word management? How to blank it? I want to blank it. Wait. Just a second. Suppose there is an animation here. Okay, if I ask everyone what is the definition of the word management? Management, it's about the way of how we can achieve our goals. It's the way of achieving the organization objectives, the way of how can we achieve these targets, the way of how can we utilize and use the available resources to achieve the organization objective. The management, also known as the process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Four things: planning, organizing, leading, controlling. Planning, organizing, leading, controlling. Those four functions, the four activities that we normally do as our roles as a manager. I'd like to ask you to ask the audience here. I'm gonna put a poll, okay, as a question. Okay, just to check our audience, from which level you are. Are you from the top management level, middle management level, first line managers level, or you are non-managerial level? It's very important to identify yourself where you are from this map, because the reason here that I'm going to ask and I'm going to check for you, are you doing your planning? Are you doing organizing? Are you doing leading or controlling? And you're going to go through each and every one, each and every part of from this. So let me put the first question here. What is your role level? Okay. Top manager, middle managers level. First Okay, I think that you received the poll, launching the poll right now. So you can I'm trying to see how many people are from which level they are. So I put the poll right now so you can, yes, exactly. People start to do it. So we have 2 here, 3 here, 4, ماشي. Okay, it's coming ahead. 4, 3, 5, 9, 9 plus 3 equal 12. And we have 17. Still some people they are here coming to go. 4, 6, 10, 13. Okay, so we have 6 from the middle managers level. We have 3 from the first line managers level, and we have 4 from the non-managerial level, and we have, mashallah, we have 1 from the top management. Okay, I was wondering who's this, but it's okay, it makes sense. You're most welcome, sir. We may have different definitions of the levels of manager. See, when I'm talking about the levels of manager, okay, I'm talking about once you start to have to be in the part of the managerial and the manager, and I'm going to go to the next definition, and I'm asking you, Rachel, you can unmute yourself and come on the stage. I'm asking you, what is the meaning of the word manager? Who's the manager and what is he doing? Please.
Manager is a lead of a function. He's a lead person for that function and responsible for the activities of that function or unit.
Great.
In my case, I'm the HR for the Middle East operations. So I don't consider that top, because for me, top will be like the general manager, the CEOs, the CFOs, and all. For me, that's the top level management. Not also the mid-level management, because that would be for directors, which is the next in line. And so I consider myself a first level manager, but then I'm not a supervisor. I'm on a manager level. So that's the reason for my comment right there.
Okay, that's great. But if I asked you, as with great respect to your level of a top, middle, or first line manager, what exactly your main responsibility or the kind of activities that you do? You mentioned for a very good word that you are responsible, but responsible for what?
Okay, I'm the point person for all the HR activities in the Middle East. It encompasses recruitment, staffing, even policies
You
and
didn't get my
procedures.
point. Sorry to interrupt you. You didn't get my
Go
point.
ahead.
You as a manager, regardless of the level of the manager, okay, what are the main functions that you do? If you find yourself that you're doing planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, which is great, but you are responsible for what? You're responsible for the tasks or responsible for the available resources that assigned or allocated to you as a manager to utilize it to do the planning and organizing and leading and controlling to achieve the organization objective or to achieve your required objective.
I am part of the people because it's a pool. What you're saying specifically for me, uh, I use resources to achieve goals of the organization. I use resources such as talent, people. I manage financial resources. I mean, I utilize financial resources, manage it, budget it, and all those. Would that be a good picture for you?
Yeah, sure. Everything is available. If I go forward to the next slide, and I would like to put things, and me, Ahmad, personally, I'd like to put things into the right place. So if you're talking about the definition of the organization, before we talk about the organizational objective, it's about a group of people, collection of people who are working together and coordinate their actions to achieve a wide variety of goals. Regardless, it's a profitable organization or non-profitable organization or governmental organization. Okay, so regardless of the purpose for the organization, is it for a service, CSR,
It's for service.
profitable, non-profitable, it's a service, either. So at least there is a goal. That's why those people, they are working together to achieve that particular goal. As a manager, regardless of your level, as a manager, you are responsible to supervise the use of the organization resources to meet this goal. Now, the question here is what kind of resources that you have? You mentioned talent, or let's make it generalist. You're talking about human resources, which is your respective team, correct? What other
That's
resources you
correct.
have?
That's correct. Financial resources.
Great. So we have two here on the table. Anyone else you'd like to share?
Mostly that's it.
There's
What
two more
else?
to go. Come on, guys. There's four major types of resources that normally we have as a management. Number one is the human resources, which is the majority of our experience here from the human resources background. The second one is the financial resources. The third one, the third one, aywa. Anyone coming ahead? So we have here Mr. Muhammad Sami, technical resources, machine, equipment, tools, which is great. The physical and the technical side of resources. Let's say, for example, I'm a manager, I'm working in a factory, so I'm responsible for the machines and the equipment which are allocated there to this particular location or to this particular factory by itself. I'm responsible for my store, for my country, for my factory, for my circle of the controllable circle. I'm responsible for this. So I have financial resources, I have human resources, I have physical resources, and the fourth one is the information resources or the technological resources. Exactly, technological resources. Same like when you're talking about uh, a service company, your main resource or the big thing that you have is your customer database. So customer database is very important. This is an information that you are contacting your customers or your clients to start to approach them. And this is resources, information. If you're talking about retail, your customer database, your clients, this is an asset. In some organizations, some companies, they sell for money this kind of context. Okay, so as an organization, the main idea for the organization is a group of people who are working together to achieve a wide variety of goals. For the managers, the manager is the person who's responsible for supervising the use of the available resources which is allocated for you as a manager from the top to achieve the required goals and objectives. Are we clear? Any questions for this part? Please drop it before we proceed. Now, as a manager or as a leader in your company, okay, what kind of skills, or not what kind of skills, what are the main skills category that you needed for your role as a manager or as a leader? That question is for everyone. The question is on the table. So please, guys, if you are interested to answer, please just unmute yourself and feel to answer.
I
Mr.
believe
Hussein.
the first important thing is the communication skills.
Communication skills. That's very great. Why you said communication skills? انت قلت جريت ولا ايه؟
لا ما قريتش ولا حاجة. Because as my understanding in the role, the communication is very big part of dealing with the people for the management, because you have some direction and some target as a company organization you need to deliver. So if you don't have that skills, because I believe the people, the name of the game, any things that you need to achieve It is the master key is the people. So if you don't have that skills to be good communicator to the people, so you will not success in that management role. So I believe this is very important. Skills, it should all the manager level should have it.
100%, very clear answer to the point. Thank you, Mr. Hussein. Appreciate it. And let me check again the people writing in the comments. So we have Sarah, she said communication skills. So we have two communication skills here on the table. Mr. Ahmed Fauzi, he said business acumen, which is very, personally, Ahmed, I like it. And this is one of the main objective for this particular program and the full program is to have a mindset of the business, understanding how the business work, how the business operate from the big top level. Yes, there is a room for differentiations between industry to another industry. If I'm in automotive sector, so it's going to be different than being in the medical sector, than being into the retail or being in oil and gas sector. That's business acumen is it's about understanding the business, how the business work here, how it's working, how we operate, what are the elements and the aspects for the business, what are the top management saying. And let's say, for example, that you receive from your top management an instruction, or you hear from a big meeting that we have an issue, let's say, into the balance sheet or into the cash flow. And then small terminology at the cash flow, so that means it's the cash is coming to you, about the streaming for the cash is coming to you. However, for the big picture, for organization level, it might be bigger than this. So it's a very key in 20, I think in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, SHRM, the Society of Human Resources Management, they announced that business acumen is one of the key competencies to any HR profession. And by 2018, CIPD, for the new map for the CIPD, I'm sure that we have quite professionals here. They are CIPD certified, especially Mr. Muhammad Sami, our professional friend. CIPD level 5, or sorry, the CIPD map, professional map in 2018, they announced that the business acumen is one of the key competencies that they are going to evaluate the people based on. So please put 100 lines under the business acumen. And I'm gonna come back to this point later. Isra, thank you for joining us. She said that technical skills and soft skills. Yes, I do agree with the technical skill and the soft skills, and there is another one more coming ahead. Yes, please.
هو فين المحشي يا مي؟ فين يا مي؟
ماشي. Okay. Mr. Karim, he said he dropped me the message onto the private. He said, again, please. My question, Mr. Karim, is that what are the three main categories of skills required for XYZ manager? He must have those. Isra, she triggered two of them, which is technical and the soft skills. And there is one more is coming ahead. Isra, interpersonal skills, conceptual skills. Yes, it's a very 100% correct. Conceptual skills, Mr. Ahmed Fauzi, problem solving, decision making, analytical skills. Sarah, coaching skills. Sarah Sabri, thank you. Risk taking, coaching, Mr. Ahmed Fauzi again. Leadership skills, integrity. Integrity is a behavior, Isra, I would say, more than it's a skill. Change management, Chaima's iPhone, change management, people and corporate leadership capabilities, being agile. Yes, I do agree with your point, Chaima. However, that it could be variant between organization to organization. Are they operating in an agile fit, or they are doing in a change management? How they operate? So it's more about their operation. Islam, Ahmad, teamwork. Thank you very much, and we are going to talk about it during our session. Sarah, flexibility with the changes that may arise. Conceptual skills, Isra, again, thank you very much. Visionary, Mr. Ahmad, definitely it should be a visionary person, or at least you can read what the top guys they are saying. Customer focus by Shaimas again. Great, guys. Good job. Thank you very much. To categorizing, what we are saying here, that we need to categorize what you're saying about the skills here, that each and every manager, regardless of your level, again, Rachel, regardless of your level, you should have those three skills into your skill box or skill bank for your person individual. Okay, the number one is the technical skills. It's technical skills. It's about how you do the technical things, اللي هي المهارات الفنية, the technical side, so you can know in depth what is going on here and how to fix it. Why technical skills is very important? Because you are leading and managing people. So in case of that, some of your team members, he's stuck into, let's say, into the payroll or into the recruitment cycle or process. You as a manager, as a leader from the top for your team, you be able to fix it and start to be able to take the corrective decision and start to guide and to coach your team. You cannot do that without having the technical skills and the proficiency in a specific field. The second thing, which is the human skills. Human skills, under this umbrella of the human skills, you will find the communication skills, you will find leadership skills, interpersonal skills, how to do presentation skills. All of that comes under the human skills. Same like Mr. Hussein, right? Yeah, he highlighted the very important thing for the having the communication skills and human skills. I would rather say, instead of communication, I would say human skills. Why? Because under the human skills here, you are dealing with people, not dealing with technical tasks or technical machines or doing those kind of stuff. But human, it's about how you communicate. And I'll tell you in the next slide why I prefer to use the human skills. Because here, mainly, you are dealing with the humans, nothing else. Okay. The third one is the conceptual skills. Conceptual skills, it's about how you think, how you do problem solving, how can you abstract and complex situations concerning to the organization, being visionary, being strategically, being more visionary guy and dealing with the top big giant peoples and having a very something like, for example, like the crisis management. I cannot get a junior team member to go and telling him, Ahmed, for example, you have a crisis here in this country, please go and fix it, unless that Ahmed is very professional into this area. But as a conceptual skills, it's about conceptualizing, thinking to the future, problem solving that would be able to help you to take the right, correct decisions. Hope the three levels or the three managerial skills are clear for everyone. To put that into the real case scenario situation, as my discussion with Rachel, that for which level of management, that which is kind of skills that you needed. For the first level managers, you need more in technical skills. I'm not saying you need technical skills only. No, absolutely not. You have to have the three skills, the three types of skills, or the three categories of skills: the technical, the human, the conceptual skills. But for the first level of managers, you need the technical skills part more than anything else. You need the technical skills plus the human plus the conceptual. But it's not mandatory for you to have the conceptual skills. But at least you understand how it works and you know how to solve it. For the middle level of managers, you also need the technical skills, human skills, conceptual skills. Why I'd like to focus here onto the word human skills, because mostly into your role for this position, you are taking from the top and you cascade it down to the bottom. Either it's the line managers or the teams, or regardless how you operate. Okay. The third level, which is for the top level managers, yes, they do require to have the technical skill, but it's not same like as much as the conceptual skills. When you're sitting on the top of the pyramid, okay, you normally don't do technical things. But when it comes to the technical things, yes, you have the understanding of how it works within this particular part, but it's not mandatory for you, or you are not doing that in every day. Let's take the payroll example, and it's a very common example. Imagine that you have a top manager person here, okay, and you are going to the top manager or the CEO that's saying, okay, I have an issue into the payroll. It's not in his mind. The bottom line for him is that, yes, we pay the salaries for everyone. That, yes, we pay everyone. But how you do it, how you do it, once it's needed, yes, he can zoom in and can understand what's going on into your issue. But mostly he will think, yes, for the whole entire big picture, that yes, we at the company, we are paying X amount of money as in salaries, which is here the role of talking here about the compensation and benefits and the total rewards as well. Okay, any question here? I am middle level manager then. Okay, as a middle level manager, you mainly focus onto your human skills, which is related to getting from the conceptual, getting from the top management, and start to cascade it down to the first level manager or to your team members. As a middle manager, if you whatever you need or you are growing up into the pyramid, you need to focus more into which kind of skills that which is required more. And let's say, for example, I'm in a first level manager and I'm targeting to be in the middle level of managers. So yes, I'm 100% okay in the technical bunch, but once I've got promoted, my focus will be more into manipulating and dealing with the line manager, dealing with the managers and dealing with the people. So it's more about influencing people rather than doing things by your hand. And imagine that you are a supervisor in a factory. So you are supervising the laborers, the workers, rather than doing it by yourself. But if needed, yes, you can do it. And this is for the first manager. But once I go to be the manager of the manager, okay, I need to manage people rather than doing things. They are the one who's doing those things by their actual hands. Top manager, you will be in the big rooms and we need your brain. We don't need your hands. All right? All clear? Good. Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Guys, any question before we jump to the next part? Mr. Ahmed Fauzi, you are asking to slow down or is it by mistake?
No, I'm okay. Thank you very much. It's all fine.
Okay, because you're putting an arrows to slow down, so we're just wondering, but it's okay. Okay, so I need one person to answer me this question quickly, very fast. The first one, what are the 4 functions of the management? Number 1, number 2, 3, مفيش خالص, no, nothing. Planning. Thank you. Who's next? Number 2, organizing. Hello, Mr. Muhammad Sami is the master in this. Planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Okay, here we have almost 14 people here into the room. I'd like to send you into 4 rooms. You are here 14 people in the room. I'm going to assign the system to allocate you into the 4 rooms. Okay, each room will have to talk about the planning. Yes, exactly, to brainstorm, to talk about planning. Another room will talk about planning and organizing, leading and controlling. So for each room will, let me rename the room, and the system will assign it planning. And I do request everyone, you can unmute yourself and share within the team about planning and organizing, leading, and the 4th one is controlling. You may join the room, and I'm going to put it for how long? For 4 minutes is fine? Will I make it 5? No, it's uncontrollable, sir. I cannot allocate it. So each and every group, I divide you into 4 groups. Each and every group will talk about planning or either organizing or leading or controlling. What I need from you is to discuss together and to share together what are the planning or the organizing or leading and controlling. Then I'm going to ask one of them, this team, is to start to stand up on the stage and start to explain it for us. Okay? I assign the time for each and every room for 5 minutes. Starting from now, I make it randomly for everyone. So enjoy. I'm going to be there in the session with you. Okay? Please unmute yourself and have a discussion together. Welcome back. How was it? Planning team is still there. Organizing team is still there. Okay, time is up, guys. عدي صفر لهم طيب.
We are here.
We are waiting for the planning team. They like to stay there. Isra, Hussam, Kareem, Rachel. It looks like they enjoyed the discussion then. Okay, we have Mr. Islam still there. Okay, because we are going to start with the planning phase part. Okay, it will take around 30 seconds to close the room for them. Planning team, they are very late.
Because they are planning their answer. Quite normal.
It looks like they're planning to put the man on the moon.
Planning forever, huh?
Yeah. Come on, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, kick them out. Welcome back, planning team. You are here or still?
Yes, we are here. Yeah.
What are you planning?
Yes, what our planning. So
Yep.
you give me the
No, I
permission
want you
to
to
speak
take too much
about
time
our
to plan
group.
for what? Yes, please discuss. Sorry.
So we discuss in our group what is the 2 or the 3 main umbrella coming under the planning. As an organization, we need to start with the company vision, and we go through what is the vision. For us, it's what we need to achieve, or what is as a company, and what is our dream. And we need to find out our mission as a company. We need to get up with missions. It is how we would like to achieve this. And we need to specify our value as a behavior, what we're going to do during that. The second umbrella is the strategic, and how we do it. And it can be under that the budget, financials, all things related to the strategic, how we achieve the company mission and vision. And from my side, and the team's not agree about this, I can see the third one, the goals and objective, which is it can be kind of planning. It can be long-term plan, depend of the achievement, and depend on the current situations and the source that you have in the organizations. And you can have a short time plan. It's depend about the need. If it's urgency that something when it's coming to the SWOT analysis, if you have some threat in the organization, so it will not be benefit if you're going to make a short or long-term plan. So you need to have a short-term plan to put your company in the safe mode. So this is the main 3 points that we discussed in our group. Thank you.
You didn't mention 3. I just write all your comments or the keywords of what you say, and I'm gonna share it on the chat box. So when I'm talking about planning, you talk about the vision, mission, values, strategy, budgets, goals and objectives, long-term planning, and short-term planning also as well, correct?
Yes, as a group, yes.
Yes, great. Good job, guys. Thank you very much. Good job. I'll give you 1 big thumbs up. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
What was in the next team? Appreciate it for all your team. Organizing team.
Hello. May I present for our team, organizing team? So
Yes,
how we define organizing, it is simply put in one short sentence, it is who does what, okay? So when the planning is done, we need to carry out what they have planned. So we have to assign responsibilities for people, give them the authority, which is the right to give orders and to direct the people working under them. And the third thing is to hold them accountable for the outcomes of the processes they are responsible for. So planning is a great thing and it is a must to be done, but I believe that without a proper organizing, a great plan could fail very flat. Short and precise. I hope that I have answered your question.
To the point, sir. But I just write who do what, responsibility
Who does
and
what?
accountability.
Yeah, who does what, where we have to assign the responsibilities for everyone, so they are clear that there is no duplication, there is no friction, and there is a smooth transition, as well as the authority assignment for people who are responsible to direct and to get things done, and people who are being held accountable for their actions and what they are doing. Thank you.
Great, welcome. Let me summarize what Mr. Muhammad Sami said. By the way, Mr. Muhammad Sami is my master. I learned a lot from this gentleman. He has a huge, deep experience into the HR and HR certificates, CIBD, SHRM, what else? HRCI, and those big giant certificates. So thank you very much, sir. Let me summarize. Allah yabarak lak. So back to the point of organizing. So we're talking about organizing, as Mr. Muhammad said, to summarize it, who do what, who will do this task, who will do this job. So it's about, I just write it in the chat box. So who do what? I'm sorry, I forget to write organizing. Sorry. Sorry, it's typo error. Who do what, assigning the responsibility. This is your area, this is Ahmed's area, so this is how we are going to being accountable, that we are going to need it later on. We'll talk about it in why we are talking about accountability and responsibility, because we will trigger it into the controlling part. So it's about assigning responsibility, accountability for the people, allocating the resources. For some industries, let's say, people are working into shifts, so you can do the staffing shift or doing the manpower shift, who will come in the morning shift, who's afternoon, who's in evening. All right, and this is about allocation, deployment for the people, especially in the HR and the recruitment function specifically. When we, let's say, for example, your organization or you as a recruiter, you hired 10 people. So who will go to which location? If you have a multiple location, same like, let's say, in retail, you have a location in Egypt, in Jordan, in Lebanon, in Kuwait, in KSA, in Bahrain. So who will go to which country, how you are going to allocate it, or how you are going to do the deployment to those people, including also organizing, which is, I like to add it, and maybe Mr. Muhammad, he highlighted between the lines, but I'd like to highlight it specifically. It's about delegation. It's about the authority level into the organization structure and within the organization matrix, and we will talk about it in next slides. All right, so good job for the organizing team. I do appreciate your efforts, so thank you very much. Next, we'll talk about the leading part, the leading group.
Yes, this is Ahmed.
Yes, Mr. Ahmed.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madir. Well, in the beginning, let me appreciate our colleagues who talk about planning and organizing first. And I just want to summarize this in order to go to the leading, okay, in just two questions. The first question related to planning, which is what to achieve, and what is related to organizing from my point of view is how to achieve it. So what to achieve, how to achieve it, okay, these are the first two steps, or the first 2 points for me. And the third one about leading is about engaging and motivating the team. And this is very important at that moment. At the same time, conducting a kind of meetings for coaching and counseling. This is also very important. Taking the responsibility, making decisions, persuading, communicating. So all these aspects are really required during the leading stage, because since you are a leader, you have to be sure that you are conveying the message in a professional way, and you are working as a coach for the team so that they learn in order to achieve the targets or achieve the requirements.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Nick, later on you will join me on the stage, huh? So remember that. It's my pleasure, sir.
I appreciate it.
Just
Thank
give me a second. Really influencing. Okay. Influencing people, conveying the message. Yep. This is I'm just writing to summarize what you said. So Mr. Ahmad, he highlighted, and the team also, they are highlighting for the leading part اللي هو التوجيه بالعربي, leading people, how it's about how to achieve what you planned for and what you organized. Okay, now let's put it in this two steps. We did the planning that we are going to put the man on the moon, for example, something like NASA. And then this is, we got the vision, the mission, the budgets, allocating, this is the strategy, the long, short term, everything into the place. The organizing, it's about prioritizing our goals, who will do what, as Mr. Muhammad Sami said. Now, how to drive the people, how to lead them to achieve the goal. And same like as Mr. Muhammad Fawzi said, it's about how to achieve it with people, engagement, motivation, coaching, mentoring, persuading, and influencing the people. After conveying the message, which is you receive it from the top. Remember our pyramid, the top management, middle management, for first line manager, how to convey the instructions and the directions that you receive it from the higher level management to your team members, and to make sure, yes, they are engaged, they are motivated to achieve that. Very good job. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Fawzi, and for all of your team. Good job. Thank you. Next, who's from the controlling team? Who was in the controlling team?
I can start.
Sarah. Yeah, please, go ahead.
I think controlling, it is like revising or auditing for all the previous steps and to make sure everything on the correct place. It is a controlling, like regulating the plan, taking the right steps, and taking the corrective action if needed to make sure everything on the road. Observing the action, measuring the performance. Being like proactive to the issues before it happened. I think.
Carry on, you're doing a good job. Carry on, Sarah, you're doing a great job. I think your team has two or three people in the team compared to the others. Yeah,
it was me and Ahmad, I think. But actually, we didn't speak. That's why I think.
Okay. So basically, from the controlling team, they said monitoring the performance progress, taking the corrective actions, correct? And I would like to add also as well, anyone from the rest of the groups in the team, from the participants, would like to add any more comments about the controlling, please feel free to unmute yourself till I write it. Performance progress.
Yes.
How about measuring actual performance?
Yes, this is exactly the word I was writing. I'm writing right now. Your actual, then compare to targeted, then
managing the performance and the KPIs.
Actions. صح. Thank you, Sarah. Sorry, Isra. Building KPIs and monitoring system. I think this is good to go. Here you go. Controlling is about monitoring your performance progress, take the corrective action, measure actual performance, then compare it to the target, then take the corrective actions when needed, building KPIs and monitoring system. In addition to that, it's about performance management. And later on, we can talk about what is different between performance management and managing your performance, but not into our session. But briefly, managing your performance is something related to the performance. Performance management is related to the specific performance. All right. And the other one, it's about managing performance or the managing people. It's about being measuring the compliance. They're doing something ethically, also non-ethically, their behaviors within during the and following the policy and procedures for the organization through the compliance, respecting others. So it's about something behavioral. When we're talking about the performance, it's something that they can do, and they have an issue in that, so we can manage the do the performance management and start to improve their performance through whether through performance improvement plans or performance development plans as well. So either you are improving or you are developing for the people. All right. So thank you very much for the controlling team. Good job, guys. Thank you. Any question related to the functions of management, planning, organizing, leading, controlling before we proceed? Anyone like to say anything? Please go ahead.
It is not a question.
Yes, please.
It is certain points I want to share with the group. If it's adding value when it's coming to the organization, I believe the time frame. I don't know. We mention it or it can be underneath any bullet points that we because I believe in the organization time frame to achieve with the time frame your goals and objectives. It's very very vital and very important. This is when it's coming to the organizations and the leading part. I believe, as I understand, the lead by exam. I don't know it will under which bullet points, but it's very very important.
Under the leading
by
leading by example.
Yes, very important. And the last one, control, which is Isra mentioned, the KPIs. It's very important, the measurements, because we believe that the things get measured, get done. So this is very very important. So we have the KPI, you can observe and measures if you are in the right track, like if you have cost of sales, so you know what is your budget. If you have P&L, you know what is your profit, where are you from your target. So all the thing is very very important under the control. So you have the clear vision on the organization, and once you have like the troubleshooting, once you have a problem, you know where to go and which KPIs you can check, so you can find the opportunity, and based on that you can find the root cause, and based on that you build your action moving forward to achieve your goals. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Very good job, sir, and very 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 fruitful point. Thank you. And by the way, we are going to talk about the KPIs and the balance scorecards coming ahead into when you talk about the strategic planning and how to execute the strategy, how to implement the strategy itself, because it's one of the great tools for that. Like, there is one thing here, after we're doing the planning, organizing and leading and controlling, there is very critical part. Sorry, it's not one, it's two things here we have to consider it while we are doing those. Okay. If you go back to the definition of manager, what is the definition of manager? Is the person who is responsible and accountable to utilize the allocated resources to achieve the organization objective, efficiency and effectiveness in an efficient and effective way. And here we are talking about the core difference or the big difference between the efficiency and the effective, being an effective and being efficient, because it's a very key thing. Same like when you are just highlighting right now, is that you cannot do that in a long time. So time is a very key aspect here and a very key measurement. Let's say, for example, to produce, let's say this one coffee, by the way, I'm a very coffeeholic guy. To produce 1 cup of coffee, okay, it takes for me, Ahmed, let's say 10 minutes. However, if I'd like to produce 100 cups of coffee, that should 100 times 10 equal 1,000 minutes. So what about if I'm to do 1 cup of coffee, I take an hour, and I'm utilizing a lot of resources, which is the time. Time is resources here, and it's considered. Same like when the people they are talking about the delivery part, how long it will take to deliver your product, how long it will take to deliver your service. So it's very important to consider that if being an effective and being an efficient. So the question here is, what is the difference between both? Being an effective, it's about doing the right things. Ahmed can do the job. Ahmed did and complete his task. For example, that how long it will take. Here, effectiveness, it's about the results. Did you do the result? Did you achieve the result? Yes or no? So it's about being effectiveness. Efficiency, it's about how you do it, how you do the things in the right way, doing the things right. Here, doing the right thing in the effectiveness, efficiency, doing things right, which is here, I'm talking about the resources utilized to achieve and to reach to this particular result. Yes, Chairman, please go ahead. Is it clear that it's very key difference between being an effective and being an efficient? Okay. And we're talking about the two things here. So let's put it in the matrix of being an efficient and efficiency and effectiveness matrix. يعني مصفوفة الكفاءة والفعالية. We're talking about here low efficiency and low effectiveness. That part, that means you are doing something wrong and doing in the wrong way, because you are taking much more time, you are not achieving your tasks, you're not achieving your goals. So it's about low efficiency and low effectiveness. That means that you are doing the wrong things in the wrong way. When you're talking to the opposite, which is high effectiveness, high efficiency, that means you are doing the right thing in the right way. The other two sides here, opposite to this, it's about being low effectiveness and high efficiency. That means that you are doing the right things, but in the wrong way. You're doing your job, yes, but you're taking too much time. You are achieving your sales. Let's say, for example, you make a $1 million in a month. However, your expenses level is $999.9. So that means you are spending too much. You are not putting a margin for your profit. So you are doing things right. Yes, you are achieving your target, but you are consuming a huge amount of resources and doing that in the wrong way. The other side is in the high effectiveness and low efficiency. Yes, you saved the money, but you didn't achieve the results. Yes, you saved the time, but you didn't do it. You didn't do the required task for you. Is it clear? And I hope it's clear, and it's very important to keep it in your mind that you are doing the right things in the right way. Being an efficiency, being an efficient and being an effective, it's one of the key things that you could, as a leader, you could manage and you could measure your team performance according to this, the efficiency and the effectiveness. And by the way, when you're talking, inshallah, in another session, when you talk about the KPIs, you'll find that it's about leading indicators and lagging indicators, how you are going to measure it and how you are going to link it between the efficiency and the effectiveness into the leading and lagging KPIs or indicators. All right. Next, or shall we? Anyone have a question? No, so it's sukut alhamdulillah. So being silent is something good to proceed. All right. Now we understand. Let me connect the dots for you. Now we understand that the manager or the leader role is doing planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, and inefficient and utilizing the allocated resources in an efficient and effective way. Now let's put all of that into a big frame of how we are going to operate and why it's important through this model or through this diagram. It's about the alignment, and it's very key things that you have to make sure as a leader and as human resources, you have to make sure that all the organization departments are aligned to the organization goals and objectives. When we're talking about controlling, planning, we're talking about budgeting. We are talking about organizing, then it's staffing, leading, that we are going to direct people. Measuring, controlling, it's about measuring the performance and measuring how we do things here. Then all of that, it has to be within an efficient and effective and efficient way for the performance to achieve the certain goal. When it comes to the alignment, these operation guys, they have to understand this and to operate into this and to achieve this. Marketing is the same, HR is the same, R&D is the same, finance is the same, IT, and all the organization elements, so all the organization departments and division, they have to go and to work and perform to the organization goal to achieve it in efficient and effective way. Okay? Any questions, any clarifications, please feel free. If you are okay to go, please just write, let's go to the next part. Because the next part is very, very, very interesting. Let's go. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Any questions, any clarification, please write it immediately or turn on your mic and then ask your question. Okay. This alignment and doing the planning, organizing, leading, controlling, and achieve the organizational objective in an effective, efficient way for each and every department, for each and every one into the organization that to lead the organizational objective. Now, how all of those guys, the departments and the organization will do that, under which structure, how they operate, how they will do it. And from here, that will take us to the organizational structure and how the organizational structure will look like. There is a very common misunderstanding when the people saying that, okay, the organizational structure is looking like this. The organizational structure is saying like this. And it's about the chart. No, completely not correct. Organization structure is not the organizational chart. It's not the visuals, not the colorful things that you see it. It's more than this. The last thing that you see it from the organization structure is the organization chart. All right? The last thing that's, or the least or the last result from the organization structure is just only the organization chart. And from here, that organization structure, it's about the span of control. Remember when Mr. Muhammad Sami was talking from the organizing part, it's about the authority, who's responsible for what, who's accountable for what. Here we are talking about the span of control. How many people allocated to your responsibility so that you would be able to be responsible and accountable for these resources, budget, human resources, financial resources, physical resources, and informational resources. So it's about the span. The second thing, it's about the chain of command. Chain of command, it's that where you are located into the organization structure, are in the first line managers or the middle managers or the top managers. How many people under your command? How you command them? How you manage those guys? Bureaucracy, same like, unfortunately, in most of the Arab worlds, we have very deep bureaucracies in our organizations and in the government specifically, that please go to the third floor to take the signature from this employee and then go to another building to the other floor. So bureaucracy is about the process and to simplifying the process for the people, and you cannot do anything without taking the decision from the specific person. Okay, hope it's clear for everyone. Then we're going to talk about here the types of structures, how the structure will looks like. Chain of command, before going to the types of structure, span of control, chain of command, that will reflect on this, that depends on the structure, how it looks like. Is it like a functional, flat structure, divisional structure, matrix structure? I'm quite sure that some of you have an experience into working into an instructions. So I'm going to put you into a breakout room. Again, we're going to put it into 4, assign automatically, 3 participants, recreate. So we have here functional structure. And again, you are the one who's going to give me the answer, not me. Okay. And we're going to have flat structure. Then room 3 will be the regional structure. And the last one is matrix structure. Okay, are you ready? How long you need? 4 minutes, 3 minutes? No one responding? Okay, I'm gonna allocate for you guys like 4 minutes. And the counting will measure Mr. Muhammad Sami will be on 60 seconds. Create, open all rooms to start. So everyone, please join your room. What I'm looking for is that discuss with your team about what is that kind of structure related to your part, what is the functional structure, what is the flat structure, the divisional structure, and that slide might help you to explain more details. Welcome back. Still we have some people here. 17 seconds. Mr. Islam. Yep. So I think that we are all here, right? Okay, close. Great. So let's see what you got here from your wonderful, fruitful discussion. All right, who would like to start? Let's start with the functional. Who was in the functional team? Who was in the functional? Okay, who was in the functional team?
Are you sure they are back all from the break rooms?
Breakout, yeah. We are all here. I closed the rooms, so we are all here. I think the functional team, they ran away from the session most properly. Okay. So anyone here was in the functional room, please unmute yourself. Okay, no, not responding. Anyone would like to share knowledge about the functional structure, how the organization, or let me go through it in briefly. For the functional structure, it's about each function will operate in a solo way. That means that the marketing, or let's say you have the sales department. So you have the under the CEO, you have the sales department, and the vice president for sales, then the sales manager one, sales manager two, sales manager three. There are all of those under the sales department. When you go to the marketing, you will find the VP marketing, marketing manager one, two, three, and then the rest of their teams will go under them. Engineering department, they will operate also the same way. So you have the vice president for the engineering, and then engineering manager one, engineering manager two. Under engineering manager one, you will have the rest of his team. This is the normal traditional structure for the organization. Most of the organizations, they operate into this way. However, the organization structure and the organization design, there is a lot of theories and methodologies to do the designing for the organization by itself. However, here, there is no one model can fit for all. That function fit for XYZ company, but it will not fit for ABC company. So that's why we have different types or different key types of organizational structure. All right. So let's go for the divisional structure. Who's there from the divisional structure?
So I believe also this time I'll be presenting for my team, for Reem and for Sarah. So divisional, actually, we have for it two scenarios. It could be by the product or it could be by the geography. And whatever it is, we call them divisional. So let's say, let me start by the geography. Now, if you have a country a company which is operating in more than one country, so you have to understand the different laws from country to country. So let me give an example. Here in Kuwait, the probation period is 3 months, whereas in the United Kingdom, it is 6 months. So the laws are different from country to country. So HR people in different countries have to understand this. So you have to have a country manager. This is in terms of the legality. Now let's talk about the customers and what they would like to have. Let's take an example of a company like McDonald's. So McDonald's here in the Gulf, they will be selling Mac Arabia, whereas in Egypt, they will be selling Mac Falafel. On the other hand, in the Philippines, they will be selling rice and spaghetti as well, because we cater to the different tastes and preferences of customers. So this is in terms of the geography, which is one version of the divisional structure, sorry. When we talk about the product, and a prime or a good example for this is Unilever. Under the umbrella of Unilever, you'll have Lipton, which is a tea. Also, they own Dove, which is a soap. They own Knorr, which is a soup. Now, you cannot assume that the marketing manager who is responsible to promote the tea is the same one who is exactly doing the same for the soap, for example. So here you have to have that specialization. You will have an HR manager for the Lipton, different than the one for the soap. You will have a marketing manager here. You will have a marketing manager there. You'll have a finance manager here. You will have to have a finance manager in the other division or for the other product. This is to give a greater control over the country if you are in a geographical divisional structure, or over the product if you are in a product divisional structure. Thank you.
Fantastic. Good job. Nothing to more. Anyone would like to add anything? Personally, Ahmed, I would not add anything, but I'll use another example. Same like in Unilever. Let's say if you go to the automotive section, automotive industry, you will find, let's say, Volkswagen. Under Volkswagen umbrella, you will find Volkswagen by itself, the cars for Volkswagen, like Passat and so on. And then you will have the Audi, and then let's say you will have Skoda. Okay, all of those three big joint brands, they are under the big umbrella of the Volkswagen, and all of them, they are operating in a solo. Same like you mentioned. Okay, the marketing manager here for Lepton, he cannot promote for the soup or for the shampoo or for some other things. So each and every one under the divisional structure, he will operate like a, I would not like to, I don't like to say it like a separate entity, but slightly similar, like they are sister companies that are working together under a big umbrella. But it's not in the same, in that way, but in a simple way. It's each and every part from the product, they are operating in a completely full solo way. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed. Very clear and precise. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Next, in the matrix or flat structure, please.
Matrix.
Yes, Rachel.
Okay. I would like to thank my team, Omar and Shaima, for their inputs on what I'm about to say. Matrix, I wish Mr. Mohammed Sami discussed this because it's the most complicated among all the organizational structures. It's a combination of both functional, or it's a combination of two or more, what you call this, divisions. It could be functional and project, for example. This is typically used for multinational companies with global reach. And it originated in the 1960s in the United States.
MashaAllah, he went through the history.
I just had time. So thank
right.
you for Mr. Sami for discussing lengthily. So I have a time
Yes,
with the aerospace industries in the 1960s. The roles here would be for the manager. It has a dual. There will be two managers, a functional and a project-based manager, for example. And
Yes.
so there is going to be a difficulty if the communication lines are not clear. The employee could report to two functional managers, which is my organization. I report to the VP HR, and I report to the vice president for Middle East operations here. So that's in my company. So that's the reason why my group decided that I would talk about this. Advantages of the matrix organization structure is that the collaboration between different departments.
Exactly.
There is a collaboration. It combines project and functional management structure. It allows interdependent communication, interdepartmental communication, sorry. Employees can develop new skills, and then team members and managers keep their functional roles. But it has disadvantages also, like I said earlier, communication lines had to be clear. Managerial roles may not be clearly defined, as again, if you don't define if an employee has a dotted line to where and a straight line to whom, like for me, it changed. First, I was a solid line to the vice president of HR. And then now it changed. Now I'm a solid line to the vice president for Middle East operations and a dotted line to the vice president because there's a change in the structure of the
yes.
company. So also the team roles may not be clearly defined. Decision-making process can be slowed down. Too much work can cause overload, and measuring employee performance may become difficult, especially during that change.
Exactly. And when you're doing the change that you need to revolutionary change, because here you are making a big change into the structure and the reporting line, especially here when you're highlighting for the reporting lines and the dotted line or the hash line to some other person, so that it means that you have two managers, you have to report to both of them, you have to take the decision, take the approval from both of them, and that's some organization it's very tough.
Yes,
Personally,
and this is typical
yeah.
of, we were talking earlier, if there's an example of a kind of company like that in Kuwait, and I said something about Al-Shaya, and Shaima said it's more like a Ghanim because of their presence in the different countries in the Middle East.
Exactly.
So basically, last thing I just want to mention about the matrix structure is that if you think matrix, think about multinational companies with presence globally. Simple as that. So you won't
it's
forget.
a large organization,
Yes, that's
enterprise
all
globally organization. Yep.
That's all for us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Good job. Thank you, Rachel, and for your team. And I think Chaima was with you also as well. Thank you very much.
That's right.
Next was in the flat structure.
Yes, again.
Yes, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Well, when it comes to flat structure, it's about the self-management structure. It's about the minimal layers. It consists of one or maximum two levels or two layers. It's the manager and the employees who report to that manager, and it has a kind of pros and cons. When it comes to the pros, it minimizes the bureaucracy and it increases and facilitates the workflow system. It minimizes the miscommunication. But when it comes to the cons of this, employees feel that there is no growth.
Decreasing or increasing the miscommunication?
Minimizing miscommunication. Minimizing.
Why?
It minimizes miscommunication.
Minimizing
because you just have a manager. Yes.
Yeah, I do have one manager, and I have 50 employees under this manager, let's say, because its structure is very flat.
Yes.
Okay, so it's minimizing.
It's everybody. It's minimizing, decreasing. Minimizing and decreasing are the same. Minimizing or decreasing miscommunication.
Okay. I would say the opposite, if you don't mind.
Excuse me,
Ahmed?
I don't think that there is one manager, it will be under him 50 or 15.
But
I think if they reached 15, they will be divided and go to another structure, right?
Okay, yes, I do agree, but I'm saying when talking about the flat, so let's say I have a big number of employees, 15 is just like, it's not specific. You will never have a manager having 15 employees directly reporting to him. You would be crazy in a minute. Okay, what I'm saying is that flat, so the structure have a big number here of the bottom level, and then going to the manager, and then you have managers, then the upper managers as well.
I think the point of Ahmed is that when there is no much layers in the middle, the communication would be clear.
Exactly. Yes. These are like
this is what we said, that it will minimize miscommunication. So communication will be always there. This is what I said.
Sorry, it's my mistake. I'm sorry. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
I got confused. Yes, please.
No problem. It's okay. Well, and one of the major cons for that is that employees will feel that there is no growth actually. So this will not enable them actually to have a kind of future or good future inside the organization. However, a very good example to that, and I was discussing it with Hussam, is Amazon. And the Amazon structure is a flat one, okay? Although they have almost 1 million employees, okay, across the world, and it's a very huge company. However, it's using the flat structure and it works successfully with them.
Again, there is no one model fits all, so it depends on
definitely. I'm just talking about a huge number. Yeah, I'm just giving an example for a huge number of employees inside one organization. And though the huge number, which is approximately reaching 1 million, okay, they are using the flat structure organization and it's suiting them. So this is astonishing, actually, that a model like that works in a very huge company like this.
Yes. Another example, also some of the militaries, they are operating into a flat structure.
Yeah, it's something else. We are away from that.
Yeah, we are not talking about politics. I do agree. Okay, but I'm saying that, let's say there is a big life example. Sorry, there is a big life example here that some of the militaries, because they do, why I'm using the militaries, because they do use a kind of ranking and gamifications. When you go for this, you will get a badge for this. When you go for parachuting, you'll get a badge for parachuting. So, but when it comes to the operational style of this kind of organizations, like a military or like a big companies, and like an Amazon, it needs more tough time to make this structure is operating in a very good shape.
Definitely.
Because you are here, you are managing, leading a huge amount of people.
Of course, so it should take time. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good job, Mr. Ahmed, and for your team as well. Thank you very much. Any question, guys? Anything you need to clarify it? Good, sounds good. When we are talking about the structures here and the managers and the people and teams, we have also to talk about the teams and what is the difference between teams and groups, and how we can, what is the difference between each and every, oh, sorry, I think there's like one slide hidden here. Okay, I'm sorry, it's a hidden slide. I do apologize, but I'm gonna stop sharing and then reshare again. So stop sharing. Okay, stop sharing. أيوة. Okay, briefly, if I'd like to talk about the types of teams and how the teams they are operating within the company. So it's very important for us to understand the difference between the teams and groups. Anyone would like to share their ideas about what's different between team and group?
A team has a goal, a group doesn't have a goal.
Team has a goal, group doesn't have a goal. Okay, very good. And this is the key word, which is I'd like to stop here, I'd like to focus on it, that the group is that it's a group of people who are working and on individual goals and accountabilities. However, the team, they have a mutual and individual accountability, and that will reflect on the team performance. Same like when you have it in the football or in some of the sports, or within your team also as well. All your team, they are working to achieve, they have one good purpose, they are achieving this purpose, achieving this goal because of the same mutual. The groups, they are having individual goals and individual accountability. Each and every one is running after his benefit only. And that will be different from organization to organization, specifically when we are talking about the organization life cycle. For example, when you are in a startup, is different than when, as a team and the groups, we are in terms of operation as well as for the structure. When you are in the startup stage, it's going to be different than in the growth, different than the maturity in the revival or decline stage, and that will go through to X and Y through the sales curve as well as through the time that you are operating. And for example, in the startup, I don't need a team. I need the people who each and every one will run and get his sale. Then going into the gross, that I need the people to work into a team format. They are working together to achieve a certain goal. Let's say, for example, I'm starting an automotive company and I need a team or I need a person to sell Audi cars, another person to sell Volkswagen cars. And my focus here into this stage, that my focus will be on hiring the senior people or experienced people. And definitely that will cost me in the startup stage much more as an expenses. But when I go for the gross, I can start to do the small replacement and start to include the lower experience level people, start to operate into that, but with the support of the senior level or from the senior management. And here we'll be focusing about the applicant tracking system, the ATS, to filter the people according to their professions. In the maturity, the more focus here will be more into learning and development and how to develop those guys to be. Yes, please. Okay. When it comes to the maturity level, we'll need to focus more into developing those guys, developing our people to be able to perform more in and having a progress into the level, because in the maturity will be going more in halas, you understand the business, you understand the company, the country, the operation, and then either you do a revival decisions or doing the decline decisions, which is here, or going with the blue ocean strategy for the organization to start to grow more or going for the globalization stage. Okay. Based on that, we need to focus on the also into the organization culture. Organization culture is something, is not a day and night, and it has to be monitored across specific time to ensure that we have a healthy organization culture for the people to work and to start to operate. It's not just only about saying the values of integrity, being honest, trust, and it's not about just only the words. From the values, we start to broadcast it and publish it everywhere. This is our values, and this is how we are going to operate. The artifacts, it's about the visible behaviors for, let's say, when you go to an XYZ company and you see the big, beautiful posters, colors here, you see the people, how they are dealing and talking to each other. Are they smiling? Are they sad and angry? Then this is the visible behaviors for you. And from that gives you the indicators, okay, this is like a simple, this is the people are operating in a professional way. I assume that from simples, then you go for the assumptions. Then you think that there's something here is, it's really, are those guys are implementing this value? Are they operating in within integrity? If I have an issue with my manager, is mature enough to go and to fix it with him? Or shall I call the HR and the HR will support being fair with the people, or go for the manager or go for the employee? Here, this is about the organization culture to ensure the fairness and ensure implementation of those values, of the organization values that we set it before into the planning. All right. There is a lot of discussion here, a lot of information here about the organization culture. However, that just I'd like to speed little up to try to catch as much as we can from the session. And the relationship between the culture, strategy, and operation, and the operations model, it's about, again, it's about the culture. There is a good say between me and Mr. Muhammad Sami that culture eats strategy for breakfast. If you have the greatest strategy ever, if you have the greatest team ever, but if you have an issue in the organization culture, next day in the morning, you will find this, it's fugazi, it's gone with the wind, because it's about the human will resist the culture the same way. This is the way how we do things here into the company, that will be much more controlled and over and hand overing it more than doing any kind of change. So the biggest challenge in any changes that you're doing is change management for the organization. The first thing that you need to focus is on your organization culture. And from here is that you will have the double loop when you are fixing your strategy, which is about the learning part. Because for a single loop, that when you change in your structure or you change in the operation, then you go to change the structure, and then you're going to change your strategy, and then you need to change your organization culture. And if you take it from this side to this side, no, it will not work. You need to, basic underlying assumptions is to fix the organizational culture first, and then you go, this is our strategy, and then aligning the structure for it, and then this is how we are going to operate. Clear? Any questions, any clarification, please feel free to ask anytime. When you're going to the strategic planning process, any questions before we move to the strategic planning process? Are we okay, guys? Okay, no comment. Thanks, Lina. Strategic planning process, it's one of the key things that each and every organization must have as a strategic planning process, that we need to start from the mission, vision, the values, why we are existing in the market, why we are doing this, what is the value that we are proposing, and then we need to start to make some internal and external analysis. We're talking, let's say, for example, one of those common analysis is SWOT analysis and PEST or PESTLE or STEEPLE analysis. SWOT analysis, it's about measuring the internal strengths and weaknesses or the internal resources. When you're talking about the external analysis, it's about the opportunities and the threats, which means here that we have to look to the market, who's our competitor, live in the competitor to understand what makes me different than them and what is the comparative advantage between what I'm operating and what I'm selling to my clients or customers and what they are saying, what they are selling to them also as well. And here we're talking about the SWOT analysis specifically. I will move forward, then I'll get back again to the slide. SWOT, it's about the people, if you don't know SWOT, it's like an X and Y. Okay, SWOT, it's about the strengths and weaknesses, and here we are talking about the internal factors. On the left is the positive sides, and here it's about the weakness side. And the lower line, it's about the external factors, which is about the opportunities, something that you see it in the market, within your vision, in the threats. It's something that what you should take care of from your competitor and what is the risk here, and you have to measure it. When you're talking about test analysis, you have to look for the political side, economic side, social side, technological side, and then there is another update for it, which is PESTEL, PESTEL, which is about the environment and the legalization also as well. You have to consider it within your strategic planning part. Then you will go for the strategy choice, whether it's for the corporate level or for the business level or for the functional level. And I will talk also about it in just go to strategy choice, that you need to, for the corporate level, you need to think about your strategic part. Are you going to go into growth, how you grow in the market? Are you going to concentrate in that particular product? or we are going to go for a vertical integration or horizontal integration or diversification. Let me give you a brief about those growth strategy type. Concentration, that means that you have an XYZ product or service, and then focus only here and concentrate here. You leave everything, but you sell that particular product. The vertical integration, vertical and horizontal integrations, whether you go into the process up, let's say I'm selling fashion items, selling t-shirts. So vertical integration or horizontal integration, it's about having multiple stores, more geographical locations, or I'll go for processing and manufacturing and being distributor for this particular product, or being manufacturing and having the designing and doing that in-house. So it's about taking the from A to Z, the full process, or increasing the POS or point of sales through this operation. Diversification, it's about same like Unilever, they have soup, they have tea, they have shampoo. It's about having multiple products. And some companies, they prefer to have a linked product together to increase or to enhance the selling techniques for the people as well. Stability strategy, I'd love to use my favorite example. It's about the same like Bic, the pen, brand Bic, the pen, yeah, the pen. Since ages when I was young, it's the same one when you go and buy it today, both of them. So they are stable strategy. We are going to do it in the right way, do it in a good way, and this is how it works. So no need to change. So we need to be stabilizing in what we are operating. Renewal strategy, which is basically here that you are in a very critical stage. Either you are do retrenchment strategy, or you are doing turnaround strategy. Retrenchment strategy, when you're thinking of that, some of the companies, they will start to close down, cutting costs. Why they are doing this? Because that they need to some more liquidization, or they need to reduce the size for the organization to improve some operational or some achieving some organization goals. Turnaround strategy, same like I'd like to use his example as an example, Mr. Jack Welch, that when he took the lead of General Electric to start to take a turnaround strategy to avoid it from bankruptcy, and then start to operate according to the turnaround strategy to start to get it up again and go to the revival stage. When we're talking about the business strategy, either it's about being cost leadership strategies. So my focus here is going to be more into the cost. So I have to minimize the cost of the operation, cost of production, cost of the laborers. I have to minimize the cost. Or in the other side, my cost being I'm the best one in the market who's doing this with this particular quality, with that particular cost. Okay. Differentiation strategy, what makes me different than the other competitors? Being in the focused niche strategy is that I'm just only selling this particular part into a manufacturing process. I am the only one in the market is doing it, or I'm focusing into this profession only. Same like in Rolls-Royce, they are selling a very high luxurious cars, just targeting this niche, small niche from the people who can afford to buy that kind of cars. All right. Here, any questions, any clarification? Okay, all right. We talk about this. When we back again to my here we decide about the strategy choice, which kind of strategy are we going forward, going backward, corporate, business, and functional. Then we'll talk about the strategy execution. Strategy execution is that it's very important to have that alignment that we talk about it, and the strategy evaluation for alignment, benchmarking, are we doing the right job or not? And from here, there is 3 techniques or 3 tools that most of the organizations they use. Either it's balanced scorecard, BSC, and we'll talk about it right now, or management by objective, which means that you have to set the manager or the company would say, okay, I need this objective, just go do it, achieve it, and come back to me. So this give you like a set of objectives. Are they aligned, not aligned? They need it for a purpose. This is how you receive it from your respective top management. Budgeting, it's all about the money here. And balanced scorecard is more giving you a diversified insight about how to execute your strategy from different four perspectives, which is about the financial perspective, which is here talking about the financial performance, effective use of resources. This is the financial perspective. And the second one is the customer perspective, the customer value, the satisfaction and retention for your customer. Then the internal and business processes. Here it's about how you operate, about the process, being efficiency, being effective in the quantity. So you need to set your KPIs and targets related to the internal business processes. Or the last one is the organization capacity or learning and growth. It's about the human capital, the infrastructure and technology, the culture of the organization, and to work and to operate in the balanced scorecard effectively and efficiency, that you need to set targets, measures, KPIs for each and every perspective. And then you will start to cascade it down from the top management to the lower management or the team members. Therefore, the team members will be able to perform and to work to achieve this particular the major organizational goals and objectives. Balance card is a very long topic. Just here briefing about it, because it's a very long, big topic, and a lot of organizations, they are operating in the balance card. So to avoid taking much more extra time, I will try to dedicate a separate session, dedicated session only for balanced scorecard and how they do it, how they operate it, and that will be in, inshallah, we schedule it another time. So looking forward to join us into this part. All right, any questions, any clarification, any doubts, anything you'd like to say, please feel free. Still alive, people, guys?
Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed. A very informative and well-organized session. Thank you so much. I believe that all of us, we learned a thing or two at least. So thank you so much for the effort and the time that you have dedicated for this. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Shabab, any question, any clarification? Shall I go for a recap? Because it's almost 9 o'clock right now. I don't like you to stay for much more.
I would just like to say thank you again.
Yes, please, Rachel. Oh, thank you. So let's have a quick recap about what we discussed today. First of all, we talk about the management, and we talk about it. Okay. We talk about the management. What is the management? Management is utilizing the available resources, in between brackets, financial resources, human resources, physical and information resources, okay, to achieve an organization objective or goal. The manager is the person who's accountable and responsible to utilize and to use these resources to achieve the organization goal. This manager could be in the first level or the mid-level or the top-level management. He needs three major types of skills or categories of skills: technical skills, human skills, conceptual skills. The percentage, all of them must exist, but the percentage through all of them should be different according to the managerial level. Then we talk about, can you remind me what we talk about else? We talk about the planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Through planning, that we need to focus on the vision, mission, budget, the resources that we have. Organizing, it's about allocating that resources, allocating the manpower, the humans to achieve this result. Leading, it's about influencing Leading, it's about influencing the people, persuading, motivating, coaching, leading, communicating them to achieve that particular part, the goal. For the controlling, it's about management, performance management, how to measure their performance. And there is a very, 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 very good say by Mr. Peter Drucker. If you cannot measure it, you cannot manage it. You cannot measure if you cannot manage it. Sorry, you cannot. If you cannot measure it, you cannot manage it. I'm sorry. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. And then we talk about the types of being effective and efficient. It's about doing the right thing and doing things right. What is the difference between both of them? We talk also about the alignments of the organization, how to align what the planning, organizing, leading, controlling to the organization goals and objective as well. We highlighted for the structure, we talk about the 4 key types: functional, divisional, matrix, flat structure. We talk also about the team, culture, organization culture, and the strategic planning process and how we are going to execute it. I hope it's a very wonderful session for you, and I'd like to thank everyone. Please feel free, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. Any question, any clarification, guys? Anything you'd like to add? Anything you'd like to have it, to discuss it, put it on the table? Please feel free. Hello, Shabab. Are you still alive? Thank you very much, Reem. Thank you, Mr. Hussein. Thank you, appreciate it. I have a small thing also I'd like to share it with you, all of you. If you need to go through this full program about, it's not just only having a quick awareness or a quick discussion. If you are interested to go through a full business leadership program, please contact back to me. And I just prepared the full program that will take you almost around 8 sessions, 24 hours, learning 3 hours per session, 2 sessions per week. And we are going to have include 2 dedicated from those 8 sessions. We are going to have 2 dedicated sessions just only at the workshop and doing exercises, doing a lot of activities related of how to do those things by your hand. Yeah, let's say, for example, we're talking about the balanced scorecard, how to do the balanced scorecard, from where you get the numbers, and then to draft it or illustrate it, then you can apply it to your organization or apply it at your business or in your profession as well. So if you are interested to have something like that, please feel free to contact back to me. Right now, I'm located in Egypt. We can do it face-to-face, or we are going to do it online. So you are most welcome to join this full program, and I'm sure that you will enjoy it. Thank you very much. Anything from my side? Anything you'd like to ask? Please, Mr. Hussein.
Now I understand why you said it's 9 o'clock now.
Why?
Because here in Kuwait it's 10 o'clock.
Yes, exactly. And in UAE, it's 11 o'clock right now. Thank you very much. And inshallah, يتفك الحظر بإذن الله, and this COVID will go.
Inshallah, we'll hope. Inshallah.
Thank you very much. Any questions, any clarification, guys? I'm free. I'm done from my side. So I'd like to thank all of you. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad, for joining us today. By the way, Mr. Muhammad Sami is one of the great teachers. I don't like to say teachers, but masters in the field of HR, having completed his CIBD level 5, SHRM, SCP, SP, I'm not mistaken, HRCI, SPHRI, PHRI, doing a lot of certificates and knowledge and experience also as well, hands-on experience into the field. So please, if you would like to join one of his programs in Kuwait, Mr. Hussam, you are feel free to contact Mr. Sari.
Well, actually, to tell you the truth, he is my current student for the BHRI program.
Okay, I will shut up right now. Oh, thank you. You deserve it, sir. Mr. Muhammad, you deserve your because you're in. For me, yeah, I enjoy his session. Sometimes he's being tough with us, but some other times, no, he's doing a great job all the time.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? Who's else? Mr. Ahmed, you are very quiet with us today. And I think you are from Jordan, if I'm not mistaken. Alam al-Urdun or Alam Kuwait?
No, I'm from Kuwait also.
Kuwait also.
Egyptian, but I'm living in Kuwait.
All right. So how is the session, guys? I'm gonna. How do you feel it? Is it fruitful for you? Is it good something for you? Something new? Something old? And please don't tell me you are Mr. Muhammad Sam student as well.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, thank you very much. All right. Okay. Any questions? Anything else? Yeah, I'd like to have a quick feedback from you guys. What is your feedback about the session? Is it good, bad, beautiful, ugly?
My feedback, I just write it down because as we learn any session, we need to get our feedback about it. So I am ready during the session. I'm writing some points so I can share it with you, and I'm sure that we're going to share it with our team as well.
Yep.
So the first thing that I like the way that you communicate during the session. It's just in certain points two-way communication, which is I like that. I like the separate rooms that we're gathering together as a team and we're discussing, which is adding benefits. So this is one of the interested way. It's make us positive during the session. So I like this and appreciate it.
Thank you.
The second point that I would like your clear speaking and connected the point to each other, how you're moving smoothly and you link the point to each other and make the things very easy to understand for the audience. So this is the two main points that I write it down, and for sure that when I think something comes into my mind, I can share it with you and the group in the future.
Please. Thank you very much. Thank you. Any other comments? Mr. Hussam, Reem, Sarah, Rachel, Mr. Ahmed. I think that all of you guys are Mr. Muhammad Sami is student, right?
Yes, I just want to say that this is like for me a recap because I went through the PHRI course.
That's great.
And it's a compact version of the PHRI section, and it's easy to recall because you kind of I went through it already, and then when you discuss it, I went, oh yeah, I know that. So it's a good, especially for me that I'm planning to take the test. It's a good recap for me, a very good recap because it's compressed.
Same here, by the way.
Compact. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Po. Thank you, Po. Salamat.
You're most welcome.
Appreciate it. Any other comments, guys? So I'd like to thank all of you. Sarah, I think you are quiet today. Mr. Omar, any comments? Reem, any comments? Any questions?
Actually, I'm quiet because this is my first time to attend such session. It was very fruitful. It added a lot of me. I was attending. I will not mention the names. PHRI was some instructor, but actually I felt lost and I don't know where the connecting points. The theme mentioned before that you're simplifying the things. Not complicated, and it's easy to get it. So thank you, and I would like to thank Isra because she's the one who informed me about your session. So thank you for the effort, and thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And by the way, looking forward, guys, to join, inshallah, further sessions in the future. We'll have like a communication list. you are not registered, so we can later on we can communicate with you, not for a selling purpose, but for a knowledge purpose. To be honest, on regular basis, we are going to repeat these kind of sessions, awareness. But next time, inshallah, we'll try to focus on one part and then we'll do a lot of activities into this part. So looking forward to join our sessions, inshallah, in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, enjoy. Right. I'm done from my side. Anything else you'd like to say, to share, please feel free.
I would like to thank Muhammad Sami also, because he's the one shared the link with us, and really it was a good choice from his side. And that session is adding value to our knowledge. And I thank him very much about this, that he gave us the chance to be attending that session. And I'm looking for more such a kind of session to enhance our learning and our exercise or our expertise in that field. But thank you, Muhammad Sami, for this.
Thanks. Yeah, really thank you for you, Mr. Sami.
My pleasure, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Joy, and have a great day. Thank you very much for joining us today. Looking forward to see you next time. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Enjoy. Mr. Karim, you're very quiet today.